You're listening to The Business Focused Photographer. If you're ready to transform your photography business into a thriving career, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll discuss fun and innovative ways to boost your creativity and income. Sound good? Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am recording a solo episode for, I think we are on the third episode for ADHD Awareness Month. No, the fourth episode. And the reason that I am doing this little theme at all this month is because obviously I have ADHD, but I know quite a few other photographers who have ADHD. And I think I don't think it's a total coincidence. I think this is an extremely appealing career for especially women with ADHD, but people with ADHD in general. We get to be creative. We have a whole lot of flexibility. We have choices, and there's not a lot of room for boredom with this job either, right? But of course, without the correct tools and systems in place, it can be a little bit of a gamble if you struggle with any sort of executive dysfunction. So today I want to talk about my five of my favorite tools that I feel like have been instrumental with helping my business stay afloat as a solopreneur photographer running a business, right? It's just us almost always. And that means that we have to come up with some systems and lean on technology in one way or another so that we can run our business successfully. And this is all not to say that within my own business, within my own life, that I have conquered all of my ADHD deficits and that I have it all figured out, because I do not. However, I know that without the tools that I'm going to talk about today, I probably would have quit a long time ago. So I'm going to get right into it. The first tool that I think has been absolutely instrumental to running my business successfully as somebody with ADHD is implementing a scheduler. And I've talked about schedulers before and why I think they're so great, but I think that it's important to recognize what life was like before my scheduler. So within my business in the earlier days, probably the first 5 years of my business, I was using a paper planner. I would get a new one every year. It was really exciting. These weren't just your run-of-the-mill planners either. These ones were customized for my business, and they really were a great tool the vast majority of the time. But vast majority, 95%, that's not good enough when we're talking about making sure we are at the places that we say we're going to be to meet up with our clients, right? So it really only took once for me to be, lounging around my house on a Saturday morning and get a frantic phone call at 9 a.m. from a client wondering if I was okay, if something happened to me. Did I get in a car accident? Because I wasn't there for her daughter's 8:00 senior session. So that was a wake-up call to me. It obviously is one of the worst feelings. I'm sure most of us have done something similar. It's the worst. And having a scheduler in place was the solution to prevent this from happening again. The reason that I feel like the scheduler has added so much value to my life as a photographer in business, number one, obviously, we're not relying on the old noggin to remember to write stuff down and to put it on the right day, because I have also, since having a scheduler, manually scheduled things in my electronic calendar for a different day than I told my client. Also not good. That didn't go well. So making sure that your client is the one choosing the date, choosing the time, right? Of course, you get to choose what dates and times are available, but then there's no room for misunderstanding there. It gets auto-populated into your digital calendar. It gets put into their digital calendar. And then beyond that, what's so amazing about most schedulers out there is there are reminders that go out, and you can set up workflows and automations around this session. So let's say you really want to give a more high touch client experience, but remembering to follow through at every step is hard for you. Most schedulers allow you to set up incremental emails, text messages, whatever you prefer, to go out to them at different times to say, hey, your session's in 2 weeks. Have you decided what you're going to wear? Here's my wardrobe guide, or here's a link to a Pinterest board that might give you some ideas, or here's a link to my client closet. Like all of that sort of client support that we all want to have available in our business, but often requires us to be doing it. Many schedulers can alleviate that pressure for you and do that automatically. Now, this is going to bring me right into the number 2 piece of software, tool, whatever you want to call it, that I think is really instrumental for me as a photographer with ADHD, and that's a CRM. Now, I'm using this terminology loosely. You may have heard me talk before about this, that the CRM that I currently use is the PixieSet CRM, which is pretty basic. It allows me to book my clients, so it has a built-in scheduler. That's really it's one of the best schedulers I've used, actually. And then it automatically brings my clients into signing their contract, filling out their questionnaire, and then it auto generates an invoice for them. So this year is the last year that I will be using PixieSet for my CRM. I'm actually moving into HoneyBook for 2026. Man, I've lost count, but I think I've tried HoneyBook about 4 times now. And it's not that I didn't like it. For me, I lost interest in using HoneyBook in the past when they um, introduced their own financing. So not financing, but payment processing. And that just meant that I wasn't going to be able to use my payment processor that I've been using forever that has all of my data. Kind of silly, but it was enough. However, and this is going to bring us into number 3, I am going to move to HoneyBook for 2026 because they have this incredible new feature called HoneyBook Financials that alleviates the majority of the bookkeeping for you. And I don't believe it requires as much. There's not as a steep a learning curve as there is with like QuickBooks. So it's all in one. It's built right into HoneyBook. It also will put money aside for taxes for you. So you can designate a certain percentage of every dollar that comes in to go into a different bucket so that you're ready to pay your quarterly or annual taxes, income tax, which for me is everything. It is like the number one thing that I hate about running my own business is being responsible for my own income taxes and bookkeeping. So for HoneyBook to now offer this is enough for me to say bye-bye to my old payment processors and now to even downgrade my PixieSet account back to gallery hosting only. And while there has been a lot of pushback from the HoneyBook community, because I think for the first time ever, last December, they raised their prices, it's still going to save you so much money when you consider how robust a system it is now. Like, for example, I currently pay $3,600 a year for a bookkeeper, just the bookkeeper, not my accountant, and forget about somebody who's going to automatically set aside 25 to 30% of my income for my income taxes. That is like, for me, that is everything. So I want to say that right now, HoneyBook is the package that would serve most people is around $600 a year. I'm going to save $3,000 just in, firing my bookkeeper alone, but also in downgrading my PixieSet account. And I might also be able to get rid of some other pieces of software as I move over to HoneyBooks. Overall, for me, and I think for most people, it's actually an incredible value. I do not have an affiliate code or anything like that. I haven't really even gotten back into using PixieSet. And so this is not yet. So this is not a promotion for them. It's just something to bring your attention to. If you are especially women with ADHD, one of the things that you might be struggling with is managing and organizing your finances. I know that's a big part of my ADHD. So for number 3, finding something or someone to help you in that department as you run your business is huge. It's everything, because that is the heaviest stress, at least for me. So number 3, some sort of financial outsourcing, whether that's your accountant, which I hope you have already by now. Most of us can't do our own taxes, or a bookkeeper, or maybe you already use HoneyBook, but you didn't know about the HoneyBook financials. Do yourself a favor if you struggle, or even if you don't struggle, you can't do it all. Look into outsourcing this part of your business for sure. Number 4 is going to be AI for me. I use ChatGPT very regularly. And I don't use ChatGPT or any AI to generate the copy. I don't let it write my emails. I don't let it write my social media copy. I really do not recommend that. I recommend against it actually when I'm coaching other photographers, because there are so many tells when you're reading an email or social media copy. Even there are podcasts that I listen to, and I can tell in listening to them that the host has had ChatGPT start to generate the script, which is wild to me. And that's why when you're listening to my podcast, you're getting a pretty organic, flawed recording. Like today, where I forgot to bring my microphone to my studio, and I am using a very questionable microphone that's on these earbuds that I got from the dollar store. Also ADHD, forgetting things. So, but anyway, ChatGPT, here's how I use it in my business, and it feels like an employee for me at this point. My ChatGPT, the first way I started using it is, when you're driving, when you're taking a shower, when you're folding laundry, like normally when I'm doing sort of mindless things is when I start to generate ideas. And very often I can't write those things down. So what I've started to do is I have an iPhone and I turn on the voice memo app and I record a brain dump. And then now you can just copy the transcript of your brain dumps in voice memos. And then I upload that to ChatGPT and I ask it to organize my thoughts. And I just have this running list of thoughts and ideas, and they're cleaned up and organized a little bit better through ChatGPT. But they've taken it a step further and recently enabled you to kind of just talk to your GPT. I do it when I'm driving. So you just press that little voice button down in the bottom right when you're in ChatGPT, and you can just spitball with it. Now, I use this a lot in my education business when I'm coming up with episode ideas, people I want to have on my podcast, structure for my coaching program. But I also use it in my actual photography business when I'm looking for a marketing schedule, or I was just talking to it this morning about how to help me book more in-home newborn sessions for this winter. So it's really a great tool. It's like having an assistant. It's like having a business partner. And I plan to use it in so many other ways as the year goes on. So if you are not already using ChatGPT in this manner, I would definitely recommend it. And the fifth thing that I want to talk about today, number 5, is going to be after shoot. We're moving away from all of the business and the admin stuff, and now on the actual technical end. Many people with ADHD have a really hard time with task initiation. This is like that part of having to do something that you're not super psyched to do, peeling your ass off the couch and starting the thing, right? So for many of us, especially when you are in the throes of busy season, as most family photographers are right now, that's editing. You probably have really, really long editing backlog. It's intimidating when you open up your computer and you see all the sessions that you still need to edit and deliver. A culling software like Aftershoot or Imagine, I think Photo Mechanic might be another one, takes away the trouble or the issue of task initiation for me. I get home from a session, I upload it onto my computer, right into Aftershoot, I let it cull. Takes a few minutes. And then it's there and it's done. And I just then am left with, instead of going through 1,500 photos, I have about 300 to 400 photos to go through and edit and choose from there. And it really cuts down on the amount of time that it takes me to deliver. And if you also use it for editing, or if you are able to also use it for editing, then you're going to save yourself even more time. But just knowing that I don't have that daunting task, which is really my least favorite part of editing, is the culling. That daunting task of opening a folder of 1,500 files, right? Going through, figuring out which one is the best. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes I go through Aftershoot's choices and I make changes. However, if I don't have the time or the desire to do that, that's also fine. What I don't see, I'm not going to miss, and neither will my client. Okay, guys? So helping yourself out with that task initiation, making the daunting task of editing way less daunting, is going to help you so much, whether or not you have ADHD. Just in general, if you're not already using a tool like Aftershoot, I would definitely give it a try. It's really inexpensive. I don't have to pay for mine anymore because I have had like 3 people. It hasn't been a lot. I've had like 3 people use my sign up code. And that was enough to like pay for my subscription for a year and a half. So it's a very inexpensive tool, but it saves you so much time. And that's what's super valuable anyway for us is our time. We can always make more money, right? We can always get more clients, but it's really hard to manufacture more time. So if you can figure out what tools are going to help free up the time and actually help you stop procrastinating these tasks that can get done in about an hour or so if you just sit down and do it. That's huge. All right, guys, those are my 5 favorite tools. I also want to say that outside of your business, figuring out different ways to offset what is hard for you, what you struggle with as a person with ADHD is huge. Don't feel like it's cheating to, I don't know, get a house cleaner or a wash and fold service or a VA, a babysitter. Any of these things are going to help you stay focused and do the work that only you are really good at doing. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks so much. So until next time, keep shooting, keep creating, and keep building the business that supports your dreams. Have a fantastic week. And remember, in the business of photography, your creativity is your biggest asset.